Good afternoon, everybody. This is Kristen Kellogg with CVSN. I truly apologize. I'm having some technical difficulties. My camera's on, but you can't see me. I've got multiple monitors that are not working, so truly apologize for the late start here. I'm going to go ahead and bring up the PowerPoint and share my screen. I think Jessica briefed everybody that, these webinars that we run, they tend to keep everybody muted and your cameras off. That's just to prevent any interruptions. So if you have a question or, a comment, please feel free to utilize chat, or I think you can raise your hand in here too. Figuratively, there's a little button that you can push that'll allow you to raise your hand. And then we can address your question. So again, truly sorry for the delay here. And for some reason, the PowerPoint has moved. Oh my gosh. Let me see. Presentation. Okay. All right, let me share my screen, my one single screen. Jess, can you let me know if you can see that? Just again, I'm having some technical difficulties.
Yep, I can see it. It's just not in presenter mode.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and.
Okay.
Okay, better?
Yep.
Okay. Jess, if you can do me a favor and moderate if there's a question or something. I cannot see it because again, I'm on one single screen here, so I cannot see if a chat or something comes in. So Jess will take care of you if there's a chat. Just feel free to chime in, Jess, if something comes up. So
no problem.
All right. After the delayed start, I'd like to get started. Again, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for your time. Greatly appreciate it. The purpose of today's webinar is to really talk about CVSN's new event called the Seminar, the evolution of the seminar, how it came to be, and the tracks that we're offering for training this coming July. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to chime in. We'll keep this super casual. So most of you know the seminar is DTE, or the Distributor Training Expo. That is an event that CVSN has run, the past 5, 6, 7 years. I think they took a couple of years off due to COVID, just like everything else. But mostly the Distributor Training Expo focused on product training, where suppliers would come in, they would host a booth, they would, provide product training at that booth, and then they would also provide classroom training. And the target audience for this was obviously the parts distributors. And we usually had about 200 folks come in for that. And it was a very successful event. As most of you know, CVSN has gone through quite a few changes recently, and we look to really revamp our training offerings. We see that as a massive hole, if you will, in the industry, or a need that we feel that we can really bring something to the table here. So that is the evolution. Again, DTE has been running for years, and we'll get into what the seminar is now, including DTE. So just to touch on a little bit about CVSN before we dive into the event, we really work in 4 pillar communities. Legislative, right now with legislative, our focus is right to repair. Industry awareness and marketing, we're working to bring more awareness to the industry, bring in folks within a recruiting effort, really just educate anybody not in the industry what the industry is and how glamorous and sexy it really can be. And, that's our objective here with industry awareness and marketing. And then, of course, education and Gen Next. That's what we're talking about today. The seminar is the main event that falls under that pillar, but we also work to, again, help recruit. We help to keep folks under 40 engaged, really show them what the industry is. We provide mentoring options or opportunities. And we usually run a Gen Next event at all of the industry events. We have one coming up at HDATP. If you're going to be there, we're offering a Gen Next event that you should definitely check out if that's something that applies to you. And then, of course, the technology pillar, where we're talking about industry standards. We have an IT services advisor. We're offering a technology conference in the seminar, so we'll get into that a little bit here in a moment. Excuse me. And again, CVSN is involved with 3 major industry events throughout the year. HDAW is our product show, as we call it. And then, of course, the seminar, which we're going to talk about now. And then the summit, which is the executive Strategy meeting that we usually run in June. However, it's been moved to September and it will be in September in perpetuity. Look for more info to come on that, but we'll be in Las Vegas this year at the new Fontainebleau, which is a really cool hotel. So again, look for some more info on that because we're here to talk about the seminar. Excuse me for just a second. So again, like I was talking about in the beginning, the DTE, or their traditional track that has run at DTE the past couple of years, has been super successful. Again, we bring in 200 distributors, sales, and frontline employees for 3 days with product sales, both in the booth and classroom settings. That is running again this year, and we already have over 20 suppliers signed up. So if you are a distributor and you're looking to see if it makes sense for your people, the website that I'll show you here towards the end will list all of the suppliers that have already signed up. And we're still targeting probably 10 to 15 more. So it's going to be a very well-rounded event this year when it comes to DTE. Maybe if my computer wants to work. There we go. Okay. So we're going to dig into some of the new offerings that we have in the training realm this year. And again, please feel free to answer, or excuse me, ask any questions that may pop up. There will be a bunch of follow-up information that we send out to all of the attendees. And then again, the CVSN.org website has a ton of information as well. The agendas for these certifications are really coming to life, and they've been, there's much more detail around what we're offering here. So a lot of that information will come out in the next week or two. We're about 90 days out from the event, so we'd really like to fill you in on some of the details. But I'm going to give you an overview today. And then again, we'll follow up. So the Gen First certification, which is one of the first certifications we're offering as, new option this year, really focuses on newbies to the industry, 0 to 2 years. It's going to provide general industry and product training that acts as a more thorough introduction to the commercial vehicle aftermarket. So the subject areas that we're going to cover here fall towards the bottom of the slide here: anatomy of a truck and trailer. We're going to talk about powertrain, wheel end and brake systems, hydraulics, suspension, you get the drift, and HD vocabulary. So this is 12 hours of training that somebody that's newer to the industry could attend. They would understand all of the components on a truck, how they work together, and all of this training is agnostic. So distributors and suppliers alike would be welcome to attend this training, and they would really fully understand how a truck works, truck and trailer, actually, how all of the components work together. And, really, we aim to answer the questions that folks would potentially be afraid to ask. When you're new and you just don't want to ask a stupid question, which, again, no question is stupid, but we look to really answer those for those folks. This track is designed, the Gen First certification is designed to actually flow into DTE. So if you were sending folks for product training, they could attend this first. Again, it would be 12 hours of training in this arena. And then they would join the DTE track, which is actually the more specific product information. But they would go into that armed, knowing, what components make up powertrain, hydraulics, that type of thing. So it would be very advantageous for them, where I feel like they would get a full weekend of training, both on general product knowledge, and then, of course, from the suppliers, the much more in-depth product knowledge. So that's Gen First. And the next certification that we're offering this year is called the Gen Next certification. And this track will focus on particular areas of the business, right? This is designed for somebody in mid-level management or moving into mid-level management, maybe a branch manager or a location manager, usually 3 to 5 years in the industry. And we're covering areas like financial acumen. We're going to have a CFO from one of our member companies come in, explain how to read a P&L, explain what that means, that type of thing. Negotiations and sales, soft skills and customer service. I mean, no matter what role you're in, there's always an element of sales. There's always some customer-facing discussions or interactions that you may have. So we feel that's important. Inventory management is a big piece. We hear a lot about this. Core management, warranty process, that type of thing, that will all fall under inventory management. I will say that this certification is geared more towards the distributor. Suppliers could attend this, but it's probably going to be more from a distributor perspective. We're also spending about 4 hours with leadership training. We have an organization coming in that became highly recommended from one of our distributor friends. Then they're going to cover leadership training, marketing, and presentation skills. So we're really touching every aspect of the business from back of the house to front of the house. And again, this is all within 16 hours. So it's a consolidated, hopefully super effective, quick training that you can do, again, over 2 days. So Jen next. And then this year we're offering Carmack user training. We've partnered with Carmack to bring folks in, from the distributor side, and they're going to cover points of topic like parts point of sale and proceed overview, parts inventory integrity, physical inventory, basically everything you need to know within your business system if you are a Carmack user on how to use it effectively. And, you might learn something that you didn't know. Again, this is geared towards distributors that utilize that, but we're looking to expand that next year. So Carmack, maybe Proceed, we're going to see how that goes, but so that's exciting. Again, that's over 2 days as well. All of these are over 2 days, except for the Gen First. There's a little bit of an extra time there because you do flow into the DTE track. I'll show you the schedule here at the end, but most of these you would arrive Thursday night. Training takes place Friday and Saturday, and then departures would be on Sunday. So we're limiting the time that your folks are out of the office or out of the shop, and hopefully that would be great for you. So let's talk about service training. Excuse me while I catch my breath here for a second. So we partner with Diesel Laptops to offer service training. They are one of the leaders in the industry when it comes to service training. All of their training is taught hands-on, in person, by certified diesel technicians that speak your technician's language. So if you have service shops, this might be something that you want to look into. Again, it's all within the 2-day period. It's all inclusive. So all of the pricing that we offer for any of these tracks is all inclusive of travel, flights up to $500, your hotel, and your meals. So something else to consider there. The 2 tracks that we're offering for Diesel Laptop service training, track 1 is a full day of after treatment training, which is apparently their most popular training in the industry, and then electrical 1. So you would have 8 hours of after treatment, 8 hours of electrical. And then track 2, we're offering after treatment again, because again, it is super popular. And day 2, you would go through HVAC and data link. Data link is basically how the truck talks to the components, or how the components talk to each other, and how to test and diagnose those. So really exciting stuff. Again, this is all brand new. So this is a little bit of an experimental year for us, but we are trying to solve or fill some of the needs that are out there in the industry with training. Okay, let up. So last but not least is the technology conference. Edward Coe, our executive director, is really heading this up. He is the co-chair, or excuse me, the staff liaison for the technology pillar. He's lived in this space for most of his career, so he understands the needs out there. But we've also relied on our technology committee or community to say, hey, this is the kind of training I think that the industry needs, and they're working to source some really excellent presenters and information. So what we plan to cover at the technology conference, again, over that 2 days, again, all inclusive to the pricing, are e-commerce trends, cybersecurity, digital marketing, ERP trends, integrations and challenges, and real life usage of AI. I know we've heard AI a lot. That tends to be a buzzword in the industry, but we're gonna really drill down and fully understand what that means for our industry. So look for more info to come on that, but this is ideal for, again, IT strategists, business owners that are interested in new technology. If you don't have an IT department, there are some solutions that may be available to you here. You can come and learn about those as well. So again, look for some more info here, but we're really excited about this. Okay. And again, okay. So again, the seminar, or we call it the seminar training week. At some point, we do hope to add up to 40, 50 tracks. I have a little bit of a heart attack when we say that, because logistically that seems like a lot. We're starting with 6 this year, but we really are looking to make this an all-inclusive, industry-leading training event that will run again every July. This year we're in Dallas, next year we're in Dallas, and then from there we'll probably move to Chicago potentially. We're going to move around a little bit, so hopefully it'll make it easier geographically for some folks to get there. But again, this year, July 12th through the 14th. Let me pull up. Let me see if I can pull this up while we're. Okay. So again, on the website, if you go to cvsn.org, under our events, there is the seminar listed, and this is actually where you can find all of the information on registering. This will also list, if you scroll down a little bit further, this lists all of the suppliers that have currently signed up for the DTE track. As they sign on, we will add more to the list here. There's also a really excellent video down towards the bottom. If you have, 10, 11 minutes, it's long, but it's super informative. It really covers almost everything that we talked about today, but probably in a little bit more depth. And it's just a good refresher. So if this is something that you feel your organization can participate in, this video is something you could utilize to really kind of spread the word on what we're trying to accomplish with the seminar. But again, this is your one-stop shop for anything and everything seminar, from attendee registration to supplier registration. If you're a supplier, you would also register from here. All of the pricing is listed on the registration links. And again, keep in mind, it is all inclusive. So there's no extra, unless your flight's over $500, right? If you're coming from Canada or somewhere like that, you may run into a little extra cost, but all of the training tracks have been priced out to be all inclusive. Justin, we have any questions or other comments? I can't see.
I do not see any right now. Does anyone have any questions? If so, raise your hand or feel free to type them in the chat right now. I don't see any as of yet.
Okay. No worries. I know I flew through that. I've had a crazy morning, if you can't tell. I'm a little on edge, so apologies for kind of zooming through that there. We'll send out the recording as a follow-up. And again, the website is a super great resource. Look for a lot of marketing material from Jessica. She's our marketing person, and she's been working very diligently to make sure everybody is aware of what the seminar is and how to sign up for it. So
we have a couple questions.
Oh, okay, great. Go ahead.
The first question is from Nadeem, and it is the all-inclusive only for distributors?
No. Well, it depends on which track you're signing up for. So if you are a supplier registering for the DTE track, the booth includes training time, and the booth, it does not include your hotel or travel. If you are a supplier signing up for the Gen First track or the technology training, that would be all inclusive. So the only thing that is not included in that for suppliers is the actual DTE track or registration here. Great question, actually.
The next question is from Richard Moss. He wants to know, when do we expect to see distributors who have signed up?
That's a great question as well. We can send out those lists as they become available. I can tell you right now we have about 50 distributors signed up, and we've just started promoting this. So the list of distributors, I could send you who was there last year, if that's helpful. But within the next couple of weeks, we should have a much more rounded list of distributors for you. That's a fair question as well for suppliers that are signing up to exhibit at DTE.
Any other questions? I don't see
something.
Oh, one more.
Oh, go ahead.
Andrew McIntyre said, I'm running out of people to send to the DTE track. Are there any plans for a DTE advanced or 2.0 track to take the education further?
Well, that is what the Gen First and the Gen Next certifications really are filling. I will say the DTE track does tend to change every year. We do have some repeat suppliers, but there's always new information available to those folks. Understanding that the Gen First certification is really targeted at folks newer to the industry. So I can see, if somebody's gone the last 3 years, you probably wouldn't send them to Gen First because they're probably ahead of that. And again, that is, anatomy of a truck and trailer, HD vocabulary, again, for the newbies. The next step there would really be the Gen Next certification, which, where they could understand the business and really prepare to move into some type of management role. As far as a DTE 2.0, boy, I don't know what we would really do there. I'd have to think about that a little bit. I mean, suppliers that present, again, the information changes every year, but that is really the purpose of DTE is the product knowledge, touching base with that supplier, networking, right? If you want to look at it that way, best practice sharing with some other folks that are in that same role. I saw a lot of that last year. Again, we had almost 200 DTE attendees, and they all, would walk around together. And, so I think there's some benefit there as well, even if they've been there the last couple of years. But I would say we'll have to see. If you have some ideas there, I'd love to hear them on what DTE 2.0 could look like for sure.
Anyone
other
else?
questions? Back to this.
I think we're good.
Okay. Great. Really appreciate it. If you don't have my email, it's kkellogg, 2 L's, 2 G's at cvsn.org. I'd be more than happy to answer any other questions you may have. And then again, we will send out all of the information that we covered. Again, look for a lot more detailed material to be dispersed, within the next couple of weeks as well. And we'll go from there. But I will tell you, spots are limited, and the way the distributors are filling up, it's going to be it'll probably close pretty quickly, or it won't run up till the end of the event. We don't have a due date for registration. I will tell you that you can also save up to 6 spots now for your organization. You do not have to know who is going to attend, but if you know that you're going to send somebody for any of the tracks, suppliers and distributors alike, you can save those spots now. So again, that is all through the website. Okay, great. Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. And we'll be in touch soon. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.